An Oklahoma town under evacuation as wildfires burn out of control. A former OU football player is accused of assaulting a police officer, and one person is dead after an airliner makes an emergency landing. This is OU Nightly. Good evening and thanks for joining OU Nightly. I'm Storm Jones.
And I'm Lauren Linville.
A dangerous day in Oklahoma as low humidities and high winds fan the flames of already massive wildfires. And some breaking news concerning the wildfires burning for a few days now. Within the last hour, the fire burning near Ceiling is being described by the National Weather Service as out of control. The Dewey County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone in the area of the fire to evacuate by driving north or northwest.
And things could get a lot worse because any fires that start today could spread quickly.
If you looked at that fire weather forecast and that fire behavior forecast, it should scare the hell out of you. I hope you are. I hope that you realize that today is a historically critical day here.
The Oklahoma Forestry Service says the Ray Fire in northwestern Oklahoma has burned nearly 250,000 acres and is only 3% contained. We also know 2 people have died in the fires in northwestern Oklahoma. 9 others were taken to hospitals for smoke inhalation or burns. At least 500 firefighters are battling the blazes this afternoon. And those fires have also destroyed at least 50 homes at last check.
And right now there's no end in sight. Jenna Warner has a first look at our forecast. Jenna.
That's right, guys. A very dangerous situation unfolding in northwestern Oklahoma. As you can see, the smoke plume from the Ceiling fire right now on radar. So let's look at the actual fire outlook for today. So the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles are in an extreme fire risk for fire danger as it continues to unfold as relative humidity values remain low in the area. Blustery conditions are in the area, and with the drought, there's plenty of fuel for those fires to continue to burn. So active red flag warnings across the state. We do have one northwest of Tulsa, and that'll expire around 9:30 tonight. Out to our immediate west, the red flag warnings out here will expire at midnight tonight, and out in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, that'll expire at 2 a.m. tonight. So I'll have all of the rest of the fire conditions later on in weather, and I'll have your full forecast as well. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thanks for keeping an eye on that for us, Jenna. Former OU running back Roy Finch was arrested Sunday morning after police say he assaulted an officer.
It all started when police were called to an Edmond apartment complex to check out a car that had been running for over an hour. Edmond officers say they smelled marijuana coming from the car and tried to arrest Finch, but that's when they say he swung at them. Finch was able to escape, but police caught him shortly after and say they attempted to tase him. More officers arrived on the scene and they were finally able to bring him down. Despite what you can see in this video, it was quite a fight.
And medics treated Finch after he suffered injuries to the right side of his face, and then he was taken to the Oklahoma County Jail. There he was booked on 2 complaints of assault and battery on a police officer and charges of resisting arrest and marijuana possession. Finch played at OU from 2010 to 2013 and now plays in the Canadian Football League. His current team released a statement on Twitter saying, quote, "We have recently become aware of the matter regarding Roy Finch. We're in the process of gathering information. Once we have more information, we will have a further comment."
And though some teachers remain at the Capitol after the formal end of the walkout, public employees returned to work this week despite not reaching their goal of a multi-year plan for pay raises. OU Nightly's Amina Schweitzer has more on what's next for the OPEA.
The OPEA withdrew their members from the protests at the Capitol last week at just about the same time the OEA announced that they would also suspend walkout efforts.
As they neared the end, they were going a little different direction, and we still had some work to do. So we thought it better that to put our resources through the rest of the session. There's a lot of time until the end of May.
The walkout saw the passage of House Bill 1024, giving public employees a maximum pay raise of $2,000 effective in July. But the OPEA says that one of their biggest achievements during the walkout was educating the educators.
And one thing we got to really relate, and I think the teachers gained a better understanding for it, is the services provided by state agencies in the communities are really intertwined with education.
Dunning says the OPEA is redirecting their focus to the legislature's appropriation period in May, which gives state agencies a good idea of their funding for the next fiscal year. Amina Schweitzer, OU Nightly.
The OPEA says there is legislation currently in the works aiming to improve regulations concerning state employee leave. And a Southwest plane en route from New York City's LaGuardia International Airport to Dallas Love Field had to make an emergency landing this morning. Sammi Steele joins us in the news center now with the latest. Sammi.
Storm and Lauren, devastating news on Flight 1380. According to the National Transportation Safety Board chairman, one passenger is dead after the Southwest flight was forced to make an emergency landing after blowing an engine mid-air. After it exploded, passengers on the plane said shrapnel broke a window and it smelled like fire, with ash coming down on everyone through the vents. Flight information provided by Flight Radar 24 shows the plane went from approximately 30,000 feet to 13,000 feet in a mere 5 minutes. The plane, which was carrying 143 passengers and 5 crew members, landed safely at the Philadelphia International Airport and was then taxied to a remote area of the runway where passengers deplaned. Today, the Supreme Court struck down a law that would allow the government to deport some immigrants who commit serious crimes, saying it was unconstitutionally vague. The decision will limit the Trump administration's efforts to deport people convicted of some kinds of crimes. The vote was 5-4, with Justice Neil Gorsuch joining the court's 4 more liberal members to form a bare majority. This was a first for Gorsuch, who wrote that the law crossed a constitutional line. Stormy Daniels has released a sketch of the man she says threatened her over the past affair she had with President Trump. Daniels says the threat came in 2011, shortly after she had agreed to sell her story to a magazine. She is offering a $100,000 reward to anyone who can identify the alleged perpetrator. Daniels alleges that she had a sexual encounter with Trump in 2006, and 10 years later, she signed a secret agreement for $130,000 with Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen. This reportedly happened just days before the 2016 election. Daniels is now suing Trump in the hopes of voiding that agreement. And Starbucks is temporarily closing more than 8,000 U.S. stores for one afternoon next month so their employees can receive a racial bias education. Last week, 2 black men were arrested while waiting at one of the coffee chain's Philadelphia stores, and since then, the company has received serious backlash.
All right, thank you, Sammi. The Oklahoma Senate has passed House Bill 2913, which would allow Oklahoma farmers to grow hemp, the non-psychoactive cousin to marijuana. Hemp is used industrially in thousands of ways, including cannabis oil and food. The hemp plant is often mistaken for marijuana, but lacks THC, the chemical compound responsible for the euphoric high. The bill passed 39-1 in the Senate yesterday and now heads to Governor Mary Fallon's desk for final approval.
And still to come on OU Nightly, everyone's least favorite day of the year is here.
Plus, a special guest returns to OU Nightly to discuss his time on a popular game show. Stay with us. And welcome back to OU Nightly. Today, a major deadline gets the attention of the nation. Collin Kennedy has more in Money Matters. Collin.
That's right. Today is tax day as Americans finish up their taxes nationwide. Today is the final day to file all income tax details to the IRS. The deadline usually falls on or around April 15th. This year it falls on the 17th, and with tax day comes technical difficulties. The IRS online filing system is having problems on the most important tax day of the year. Acting IRS Commissioner David Cotter confirmed the problems, but the nature or extent are unknown. Lawmakers are asking the IRS to avoid penalizing anyone affected by the glitch, but no official plan has been announced. Well, while the IRS is dealing with that mistake, here are a few mistakes you can avoid so you can end tax season the right way. First, avoid careless errors. Deadline pressure can make for mistakes, but remember to check over when finishing up. Another is choosing the proper filing status. There are 5 options, and people sometimes pick the wrong one. Make sure you pick correctly so you pay properly. And finally, don't pay a pro if you don't have to. If you have an adjusted gross income of $66,000 or less, you may be able to file federal taxes for free. Guys, get those taxes in before it's too late.
All right, always good advice.
Thank you for the tips.
And OU Nightly met Jeopardy College Championship contestant Thatcher Chonka last week after he made one heck of a comeback in the trivia contest, but it wasn't enough to secure a spot in the semifinals.
Luckily, he made the wild card and advanced to the next round. Sammi Steele joins us now with Thatcher to find out how the semifinals turned out. Sammi?
Thanks, Storm and Joan. Yes, that's right. The semifinals just aired today. Thatcher, can you tell us how you did? You filmed this a few months ago, but now you can finally let everyone know.
Yeah, so the semifinals aired today. I got second in my semifinal game, so that's the end of my run. I lost by $1, and all 3 contestants finished with over $20,000, so it was a really, really good episode, great day to watch, but I came up just a little bit short.
Just a little bit short. So even though you were $1 away from winning, you're part of the OU academic team and are defending undergraduate national champions for 2016 and 2017, or excuse me, 2017.
Yeah, 2017. And then this year, we just played this weekend, and we got second among the undergraduate teams. So it's been a week of seconds, but still a really great performance, beating teams like Harvard and Stanford and Virginia. So that was awesome, and it was a really fun experience.
Oh, I'm sure. Is there any advice that you took back to the academic team that you learned from Jeopardy?
I think it was more the other way around. I don't think I could have done Jeopardy without all the things I've learned from doing academic team. And so I think they're going to watch and almost give me a hard time for some of the stuff that I didn't pull.
I'm sure they will. Well, thank you so much, Thatcher.
Absolutely.
And we're wishing you and the academic team lots of luck in your next competition. Storm and Lauren, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Sammy.
Well, still ahead on OU Nightly. Jenna standing by with more weather. Jenna?
That's right. What's it going to do tonight? I have all that and more coming up next. Stay with us. Welcome back to OU Nightly, guys. So it's a sunny day here in downtown Norman. We do have 87 degrees as our temperature right now outside. Winds coming from the south-southeast, 23 miles per hour sustained. Now let's look at our max wind gusts across the state right now. So the max wind gusts we have seen since midnight in the Panhandle, if this graphic will cooperate with me, the max wind gusts we've seen in the Panhandle is around, it's very, very gusty in the Panhandle. We actually do have a cold front coming through the area tonight, and this cold front will sweep through and it'll shift our winds from the south to the north. So that'll make it fairly hard to contain wildfire conditions in northwest Oklahoma, as the southern winds will shift to northerly winds, changing the direction of the fires. And after that cold front moves off to our east, we do have some high pressure situated in the Texas and Oklahoma Panhandle, so that'll bring clear conditions to us for the remainder of the next few days. So tonight it's going to be a warm night. We do have blustery winds tonight as well. Winds coming from the south, 20 to 25 miles per hour up until around midnight. We do have winds calming down just a bit, and around midnight we'll also be at 69 degrees. So like I said, warm night ahead. Lows for tonight, 52 degrees here in Norman, 50 in OKC. So we're sitting just above normal here in Norman for this time of year. Now walking out the door tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., 56 degrees. We'll make our way up to 70 by the 5 o'clock hour. So that cold front that's going to come through tonight won't affect our temperatures too much, thankfully, as it'll still feel like spring in the Sooner State. As we head into our highs across the state tomorrow, again, just below normal for our highs tomorrow, 70 and 70 in OKC and Norman, 69 out in Enid, 69 in Woodward as well. And you can tell those winds have already shifted coming from the north tomorrow, north-northwest, 15 to 20 miles per hour. So it'll still be a gusty day tomorrow. Rounding out the next 2 days to come, it'll be windy, and we still have some fire weather conditions sticking around in our area tomorrow, as they'll be near critical tomorrow. Thursday, we do have a break from those winds, though, as they'll be coming from the east-northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. So as we round out the rest of our forecast, looking at the next 7 days ahead, Friday and Saturday, we do have some rain chances, as another cold front's going to come through our area, and it will knock down our temperatures just slightly for Saturday, as we'll hit a high of 57 on Saturday.
All right, Jenna, those winds tonight, not good for the firefighters up in northwestern Oklahoma.
Definitely not good. As that cold front comes through, it's going to be hard to contain.
All right, and maybe some relief with the rain later on in the forecast.
Let's hope.
Let's hope so. Thank you, Jenna. Well, one pitcher for the Sooners earned a Big 12 honors.
Josh, what do you have for us?
Yeah, that's right, guys. I'll definitely be sure to fill you in on that. And Sooner Bats picked up some much-needed help today. Sports is up next. Welcome back. After Trae Young left for the NBA and Jordan Shepherd decided to transfer, one of the biggest questions of the OU basketball offseason was simple. Who on earth would play point guard for this team? Well, we got that answer today. Graduate transfer Aaron Calixte is coming over from Maine to join Lon Kruger and the Sooners for the 2018-19 season. Calixte averaged just under 17 points per game and just over 3 assists per game for the Black Bears a season ago. As the one true lone point guard on this roster now, Sooners fans can definitely plan on seeing a lot of Calixte this coming season. Fresh off a dominant performance over Texas, Nathan Wiles has been named Big 12 Pitcher of the Week. Wiles threw 7 2/3 shutout baseball against the Longhorns, helping the Sooners take Game 3 of the series on Sunday. Skip Johnson and the rest of the team will be hoping for a repeat of that performance this weekend as the Sooners head down to Lubbock for a big-time series with Texas Tech. Before their trips to their respective national championship events this weekend, OU gymnasts Yoel Moldauer and A.J. Jackson stopped by Sooner Sports Pad to preview their attempt at another national title.
We don't like to think that we keep winning. We always, after a meet, we reset, we watch all of our videos, and we just try and fix every detail we can. And then when we come to NCAAs, you know, it's a different experience each time because it's a different team.
And if you missed that, you can catch a replay of that show right here after our newscast. Over to football now. We're at this past weekend's spring game. The Sooners honor former coach Bob Stoops with his own statue alongside other Sooner coaching greats. Sam Brown has more on the big event.
In Lincoln Riley's first spring game as OU's head football coach, he wanted to make it more than just a game. He wanted to make it an event, and he did just that with things such as a Trace Adkins concert, an OU student getting the chance to race Marquise Brown, and most notably, the statue unveiling of his predecessor, Bob Stoops. While the highlight of the ceremony was obviously the unveiling of the Stoops statue behind me, Athletic Director Joe Castiglione and President David Bourne also spoke during the event. They praised Stoops' coaching success, obviously, as they should, but they also touched on his ability to connect with players and develop them into better human beings.
And as much about what he's done on the field to think about what he's done off. The community service, the support for people all over the place, what his foundation has done. And I, again, want to thank him for what he continues to do.
With a record of 190 wins and just 48 losses, it's easy to see why Stoops is recognized as one of the greatest coaches in OU history. And now, his legacy will live alongside Benny, Bud, and Barry right here outside Gaylord Memorial Stadium. Sam Brown, OU Nightly.
Now, we all know Bryce Harper's very good at baseball, but last night pushed him even further into legend status. Harper smoked a 406-foot bomb with a broken bat. If he's going to hit homers even when he gets that jammed up, I simply don't know how you're supposed to pitch this guy. My only real question now, guys, how far would this thing have gone if the bat didn't break?
That's a really good question. That's incredible.
Like 900 feet. That's my prediction.
I'll tell you, one time my dad, mid-swing, his golf club broke in half, but I know it's not because he's the strongest.
Did it go 406 feet?
It didn't. Wow. I don't even know if it went, if we're being honest.
I've broken a few bats in my time, you know.
Have you?
T-ball was pretty good.
Aluminum bat back then, so that's extra impressive.
Yeah, I broke the aluminum bat, that's true.
Man, you're jacked.
Love the sports.
Sports ball. All the sports.
All right, thanks, Josh. And so the coming OU Nightly Autism Awareness Day is Sunday, and the Milwaukee Brewers are honoring it in a big way.
I'm Cal Day at the Update Desk. An investigation is underway after the death of an inmate at the Oklahoma County Jail. The Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office reports 63-year-old Richard Holt died in a local hospital on April 15th after being transported to receive treatment for a pre-existing condition. Holt was booked into the jail nearly a month ago on charges of making a bomb threat. Investigators are looking into the death. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thank you, Cal. The Milwaukee Brewers have a special performance planned for their game Sunday against the Marlins. 30-year-old Eric Look will join singer Michelle McCormack to sing the national anthem prior to the first pitch in honor of Autism Awareness Day. Look has classic type autism that causes him to have difficulty communicating, but he found that singing and playing the piano gives him a second voice. Look has a knack for reading music and replicating a melody in just an instant just by hearing it.
All right, that'll be a special game for the Brewers with that
Pretty
performance.
incredible how he can just hear a melody and just reenact it.
That's true, very special.
Very amazing.
All right, Jenna, we have this cold front coming through tonight. Winds are picking up in northwest Oklahoma. Is it bringing anything else with it besides wind?
That's right. So the cold front's actually bringing cold, dry air on the back edge of it. So this isn't looking at surface level. This is looking above the surface. So that's why it looks like there is some moisture above Oklahoma, but actually it's dry underneath that moisture over us right now, and there's dry air coming in on the back of that cold front as well. So it's not going to help the situation as the cold front comes in tonight at all.
So that water vapor is not really going to provide any relief, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not, no.
All right, and we know some rain coming later in the week, right? That will definitely be a help. Hopefully they have more of a handle on things by then.
Hopefully the rain reaches northwestern Oklahoma. Right now it looks like it may not reach northwestern Oklahoma, but we can only hope for the best.
All right, you'll keep an eye on it for us. Thank you, Jenna, and thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.